about 17 minutes after 6 by the clock on the wall. Council, may I please have a motion to... Phones are going, people are talking at us. Eh? May I please have a motion to approve the agenda as has been circulated? Councillor Tom, Councillor Peary, comments or questions? All in favour, please. Opposed? That is carried. May I have declarations of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof, please? Seeing none, we will move into delegations. We have Ms. Andrea Noss, Manager, BDO Canada, with respect to our year-end audit plan. Ms. Noss. Oh, Mr. Elliott is going to do the introduction. Mr. Elliott, over to you, sir.
If I may, Mr. Chair, the audit planning discussion is required of the professional standards of the audit firm. And normally we would be doing this particular audit planning piece as the second half of our June meeting. But because of the contract change, the contract expired and was RFP'd last fall. We now have a separate planning session just for this 2017 year end. So in the future, we'll be combining the two meetings together in June. So with that, I'll just turn it over to Andrea. But as a staff member, and we have no comment on the approach that they're presenting. It is their professional duty to design and conduct their audit in the approaches they feel necessary to inform their audit opinion that they ultimately express on our financials. So with that, I'll leave it to Andrea.
Thank you very much. As Mr. Elliott indicated, we're required to communicate certain items to you during the planning process of the audit, and that's what I'm here to do today. We submitted a full letter, a rather lengthy letter, that would be included in your package, but I'm not required to go through that in detail. That would be a very lengthy process. So what I have done is done up a little summary that's up on your screen here, and I'll just go through that with you. So the first point is, what is the objective of the audit? And the audit's objective is to form and express an opinion on your consolidated financial statements and report significant findings to the audit committee. That's the objective of the audit, and that's our responsibility to you. And then our second point is whether or not BDO Canada is independent of the municipality. Ooh. Sorry, my podium is moving. So in terms of independence, we have to communicate this with you as well. We have to consider all applicable legislation, relevant rules of professional conduct to determine whether BDO Canada is independent of the town of Aurora. And when we do that, we cover such matters as potential financial interests in the municipality, any economic dependence we have on the municipality. Say if you guys were our only client, then that would be a matter of independence, a conflict of interest. And we also look at any other potential conflicts of interest as well. And we can confirm that we are independent within the meaning of the rules of the professional conduct of CPA Ontario as at March 27th, 2018. And then we will also provide an update when we meet in June as well on our independence. So my next point is in regards to materiality for the audit. Misstatements in your financial statements would be considered to be material if they could be reasonably expected to influence the economic decisions of the users. So we have to set that threshold every year. And based on the preliminary results of the municipality, we've set a preliminary materiality level at $2.25 million based on 2% of average revenues. And when we start the year-end fieldwork, then we will reassess that amount as well to see if we need to change it based on the latest financial results. So then I'll move on to the next point, which is we have to discuss everybody's favorite topic, fraud, every year. The likelihood of us not detecting a material misstatement from fraud is higher than not detecting one resulting from error, because fraud could involve collusion or some sort of sophisticated scheme, anything that we designed to conceal it. So part of what our procedures are is to inquire of you, the audit committee, if you are aware of any instances of actual suspected or alleged fraud affecting the municipality. Okay.
I'll put that question to council. Is there anyone who is aware of fraud or suspecting fraud? Seeing none, Ms. Ness?
Great. Thank you. And finally, I'll just give you an update on the status of the audit. We completed our planning visit in January, and what we do there is we attain an understanding of the processes and controls that are in place in your finance department, and we walk through our system descriptions, and we walk through the different controls to make sure that they are still that they're still in place and they're still reliable. And based on that understanding, we assess the risks of material misstatement as to what could go wrong in your financial statements, and we design an audit strategy to address those risks. And that those procedures that we do to address the risks, those are what we use to obtain sufficient assurance to enable us to report on the consolidated financial statements. And we'll start our year-end fieldwork in mid-April and report back to you in June. So that's all I had. If anybody has any questions, now would be a great time.
Thank you very much. May I first have a motion to receive and refer the delegation, or the presentation, pardon me, to the report? Councillor Peary, thank you. Councillor Abel, any comments or questions on that presentation? Please. Seeing none, all in favor of receipt then, please? Opposed? That is carried. Thank you very much. We will now put Mr. Elliott's report on the floor, please, if someone would move that for me. Councillor Gardner, thank you. Councillor Marcus, second. Ms. Shallett.
Mr. Chair, I have nothing really to add. This report is simply a cover report to the auditor's audit plan that is attached. The report to the audit committee is much more detailed than the brief presentation made by Ms. Noss. And so it sets out a lot of information that is helpful to the audit committee to be aware of, and to provide an opportunity for questions to the audit team, should you have any. So I really have no further questions. I can't comment on their approach. That's their duty.
Are there any questions on Mr. Elliott's report, please? I'm sorry, Councillor Gardner.
Thank you, and thank you. I know this is going to take a lot of work on behalf of you and your staff. And I could have asked this of the auditor, but is this report basically the same one that we receive every year, with the exception of maybe some dates changing or fees changing?
Mr. Elliott, please.
Through you, Mr. Chair, for the most part, this is a routine audit. There is no, to my knowledge, there's no enhanced risks to the audit of this year that they've made any adjustments of any note in this report. So I believe that it is pretty much a template report from past years, simply brought forward. However, the audit team does have a professional requirement to meet with the audit committee, have an opportunity for any questions or dialogue. The specific question about fraud has been asked, and at any time of the year, the audit committee can be called to convene and call the auditors in for any reason at any time, assign them additional work if you wish. And so with that, I think this is simply a professional requirement of theirs to meet with you before the audit, and then they will meet again after the audit in June.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions for Mr. Elliott on his report? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? That is carried. That is it, Mr. Clerk. May I please have a motion to adjourn? Councillor Thompson, Councillor Abel, all in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Thank you very much.